Hello and welcome to your weekly card pull. My name is Alexa. Today I'm doing a card reading for the week of September 22nd through September 28th of 2024. This reading is channeled for my Capricorns, especially if you have Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node. But if you feel called to this reading for any other reason, then there's likely a message here for you. So please stay tuned. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please make sure that you do that in case you want future guidance or perspective. So for this week, my dears, it looks like there are a lot of opportunities for you to work with some of the deeper parts of yourself and some of the deeper parts of your emotion. I pulled for you guys the Lovers card in reverse. I also pulled for you guys Ace of Cups in reverse. Anytime that the Lovers card is pulled, it is acknowledging the beauty and the power and the divinity of connection and collaboration, particularly in romantic relationships, but not necessarily just that. This could also be business partnerships or other forms of connecting with people. So very much focused on the relational aspect of life. In the reverse, it can mean a level of disharmony or discomfort. Either that's something that has arisen or that you've dealt with in the past that maybe you're currently navigating like a smaller version of that, or you're like, oh, this is funny. This disconnective experience is arising again. How do I want to deal with that? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That doesn't necessarily mean, oh my God, your life is going to blow up and you're going to have a breakup. This card is just acknowledging that in any relationship that you have in your life, there will, if there's any depth to it, probably come a point where there is some level of disconnect, and that will likely require and ask for you to get a deeper level of understanding for yourself so that you can show up a little bit better for that relationship. The most powerful lessons that I feel like these cards have to offer is that if you are not connected with yourself and you are not connected to this deeper aspect of your emotions, especially if you're experiencing a certain level of emotional repression, it will likely be reflected in the way you relate to other people. You can only meet someone as deeply as they've met themselves. If there's a part of yourself that you are hiding from or ashamed of or trying to run away from, this might be a gentle encouragement for you to pay a little bit of attention and give some love to those aspects of yourself. And from that, I pulled 3 other cups cards. So there was a lot of water emotion, a lot of water energy. So a lot of emotion that might be flying around. We have the 6 of Cups, which is a reminder to get back to the things that we love, simple joys, simple pleasures. Maybe even things that we loved doing as children. So if you don't already have a practice where you're getting in touch with your inner child or you're playing, maybe making some time for that. If there's something that you really love doing as a kid, like if you really like drawing and you haven't done that in a while, this might be a really good week in some of that time that you have alone or some of your solitude to invest in working on some of that. This card also encourages us to look at our relationships and ask, are they in alignment with what makes us most deeply happy? All of these 3 cards are an encouragement to realign with what truly brings you a sense of life force, love, passion, excitement. If you're in a relationship, business partnership, you have friendships that you feel like aren't really fulfilling these very deep aspects of your inner child, first of all, it's not everyone else's job to please you, so take it with a grain of salt. But second of all, if that is the case, and this is a really good time for you to reevaluate those and see if there's ways that you could inject a little bit more life into those relationships, or if maybe those are things that are just meant to fall away. And that's only you can decide that. The card reading is not going to tell you that. That's kind of your decision. Because second card I pulled was 7 of Cups, which acknowledges almost like this level of overwhelm. If you have too many things that you're aspiring towards, you could have so many different goals and things that you want to be working towards and striving towards, but if they don't really align with what you really deeply love, if it feels like they are severely draining or they're not in alignment with some deeper level of purpose, then I would say to ask yourself, is this something that I want to continue investing in? And that is, again, only you can answer that. Because this is a Cups card, I do feel like there's going to be some level of emotionality that might be tied to that. To quote Pablo Picasso, everything you can imagine is real. What you can imagine is what you can manifest. So bring forth your subconscious plans and make them goals. But be wary, too many plans and ideas can bring overwhelming thoughts and questions. This isn't necessarily a matter of like, don't dream it. It's just a matter of understanding what you're putting your energy into, what you're investing in manifesting, and understanding that there's a balance that comes with that. Just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean that you should. You don't want to be constantly striving for perfection or striving for 5 million changes at one time and then overwhelming yourself and then just burning out. Finally, you guys, I did pull the 9 of Cups for you. Main messages with this card, kind of going back into the last message, honestly, this card says, make a wish, but be careful what you wish for. When you see this card, it is a time to state clear intentions for what you want to call into your life. It is also a reminder we can accomplish anything we desire. Because these cards have a lot to do with getting more in touch with your intentionality and really figuring out what it is that you feel aligned to, what it is that you feel like you want to be calling into your life, then I would definitely encourage you to spend some time just being honest with yourself about what you want to be working towards before you really set those goals, because this is a phenomenal time to be setting goals and starting to work towards things. I talked about this in my video last week, but this time period between September and January for the collective is generally a very good time for goal setting and goal accomplishment. If you haven't reviewed your goals for the year, this might be a good time to do that. If you didn't hear or listen to my reading for the entire year of 2024 and you want to kind of get a little bit more guidance or perspective, or if you're feeling kind of out of alignment with yourself, I highly recommend listening to that reading, because if you're asking the questions like, well, I don't really know what I want, or I don't know how to know what I want, there might be some nuggets in there for you as well. Because this is a Cups card though, this is less about practical action, though that is important. And this is more about being very emotionally connected to what it is that you want to be working towards, and very emotionally honest about what that might look like. In the upright position, which is how I pulled this, main messages of this card are satisfaction, luck, safety, and accomplishment. So overall, there is a lot of positivity from this reading, even though the first two cards that I mentioned with the Lovers reversed and the Ace of Cups reversed apply a level of separation and potentially discomfort or a sense of like misalignment. I think all of that is meant to help you understand what it is that you feel aligned with and help give you sort of like a level of reassurance. And yes, this is something that I want to continue pursuing, or something I want to continue moving towards. And over here are some things that maybe I don't want to be investing my energy into, and that's okay. At least that will allow you to emotionally connect with what really feels true and what really feels right to you. One final thing that I want to mention before I close out this reading: the Lovers represents the union of duality. They signify a force that binds two entities together to create wholeness, whether it is a relationship, an event, a personal decision, or ideas. There is some fusing of the personal self with something that is perceivably outside of us or external from us. The Lovers asks you to have open communication with yourself. That seems very, very important. Open communication with yourself and examine your motives and values when contemplating which path to take. So again, this doesn't have to be in regards to your relationships. I feel like for a lot of you it may, but for some of you this may be involving a business venture. This may be involving a business partner or an idea, or a path that you want to take in terms of how you would like to create an event. I am getting creative energy for some of you, so this might have like a sexual creative energy or also like a business project creative energy. And that, I think, could go either way. They're both at their very root creation, but you're being asked to examine your values and your motives in this relationship and how you like why are you there in the first place? If none of you have listened to the TED Talk by Simon Sinek and it's about finding your why, I highly recommend that you look that up. I feel like for some of you there might be a really good nugget there as well, even if it feels like it's distantly related. The concept seems like it might be useful, but really just aligning with what is your purpose or your sense of purpose, and is that something that your actions are reflecting back to you. Keep in mind, again, those things that make you feel playful, those things that make you feel excited, not to overwhelm yourself, but to really understand, like, at the root, at the core, what are those basic needs? What are those basic things that excite you and kind of light a fire for you? Because those are really the things that matter. I feel like for some of you, you might be focusing on a lot of things that might be distantly related that don't really matter. Like, they may matter, but it might not be like top priority. So if you can expend less energy on those things so that your overwhelm is lessened, and spend more energy on the things that really align with what feels genuinely important to you, that might open up a little bit more space for some more fluidity in your relationships, maybe for things to feel like they're flowing a little bit easier, especially if you felt some like stagnation or some tension. And I'm getting a lot of this flow, again, a lot of cups, so a lot of water energy, but a lot of flowing, and a lot of really just examining your emotions and being very honest with them, and very honest with where you stand and how you feel and why, even if they're challenging, even if they're difficult emotions. I think that the process of reconnecting to those deeper parts of yourself will help you to make the decisions you need to make, if there are decisions you need to make and haven't really known how to go about them, or which ones you want to focus on, or where you want to be putting your energy. I feel like that's going to be your best basis for figuring out how to navigate those. So yeah, I feel like that actually answers the question pretty thoroughly of what to expect and what perspectives might be helpful. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have questions on anything or you want further clarification, please reach out and let me know. I love getting messages. You can either leave a comment, shoot me a message on Instagram, TikTok, email me, anything, alexab.alchemy. And with that being said, if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe, and I will be posting another video next week. Thank you guys so much. I love and appreciate you, and I will see you guys next week. Cheers and have a good one.